So first and foremost, what position are you running for, and what are the responsibilities of this position?
So I am running for judge of the 460th Criminal District Court. It's a court that was created by the legislature back in 2018. It actually went live, it opened in January of 2020. It is a court that has jurisdiction over all types of felony cases. And here in Texas, what that means, those are cases where defendants, where people that go in front of the court are facing sentences anywhere from 6 months up to life, and sometimes even death.
And for the purposes of our student civic engagement project, why is it important for students to vote?
You know, your vote is your voice. And I know that's a cliche, but really that is the truth. With your vote, you make sure that your concerns are heard by your government, by the people that are making the decisions for you. Whoever gets elected, those individuals are going to be making decisions that affect your day-to-day life. So, you know, that can be anything from what schools are available to you, to what, you know, your parents pay for taxes, to what happens in our court system, specifically in my end, what happens with criminal justice. So it is very, very important that people get involved. Very important for young individuals like you to get involved, you know, and be part of the change that we need in our society.
Thank you. And next question is, what words of advice would you give to first-time voters?
Be educated. Learn about your candidates, just like you're doing this right now. I mean, this is amazing that you're putting this out and that you're giving information to people that might otherwise not be very familiar with who is on the ballot. I mean, this year, you know, just for example, we have a huge ballot, meaning we have people running for office all the way, as we know, from president all the way down to I don't know, school trustee. So, you know, there are gonna be so many people that we need to know who they are, what do they stand for, are they someone that we can align for, that are going to be fighting for the things that we care about. So that's the first thing, you know who's on your ballot. You know, right now it is so easy, you know, with the internet, to just go and click on your local elections, you know, group and see who is on your ballot. You can actually, here in Travis County, you can get a sample ballot. You know, if you can put in your information. If you're a registered voter and you put in your information, and you can get a sample ballot, and it will give you a list of all the people that you are going to be voting for. So that would be the main thing, you know who you're going to be voting for, and do it early. That's another huge thing right now. Make sure that you get out there. Early voting starts October 16th. So, you know, no, I'm sorry, October 13th. So, you know, get out there as soon as possible. Don't wait till the last minute, because we're going to have huge lines of people out there. So, you know, those would be the main things that I would tell.
Thank you. And you briefly touched on this earlier, but why is it important to participate in local elections?
Yeah, you know, as I said, the people that are going to be elected locally, you know, whether it's city council, whether it's, as I said, board, a school board trustee, judges, right? I mean, all those people at some point or another are going to be making decisions that affect your everyday lives. So, you know, if you live in a city, you want to make sure that that city is providing for you and for your community. Okay, so if you want to be successful, you want your city to support you in doing that. So it's important that you know, you once again get familiar with the people that are running for city council, for school board trustee, you know, whatever it is that is going to be affecting your day-to-day life.
So what motivated you to run for office in the first place?
I have been a criminal defense attorney for over 24 years now. So during most of my career, I have basically dedicated myself to indigent defense. What that means is helping people that cannot afford a lawyer to represent them. And in doing that, I have seen the inequalities that affect our system. You know, Blacks, Latinos, people of lower socioeconomic means are usually disproportionately affected by our system. And what that means is that they end up with harsher sentences. They are criminalized more than other individuals. So it's important to me that we have someone that, one, understands that that is happening and that wants to do something about it. Criminal justice reform is a huge thing. It's something that I have worked for my entire career. And when I talk about criminal justice reform, you know, it's about looking for alternatives. It's not just about, you know, throwing people in jail and forgetting about them. It's about making changes, giving them the opportunity to address issues that they might have, you know, with drug addiction, mental health issues, homelessness, you know. So we need to look at all those things. And I feel passionate about that. It's something that I have always felt passionate about. And I believe by being on the bench, it will give me a better opportunity to address those issues and try to come up with solutions to those issues.
So you talked about criminal justice reform. So what are some initiatives you plan to implement if elected, and how will they better benefit the community?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, you know, a lot of people that end up in the criminal justice system, they are dealing with drug issues, addiction, that have never been addressed. They are dealing with mental health issues that have gone untreated. So trying to, as much as possible, put those people in touch with resources available so that they can get help and so that they can get back out into the community and get back to being productive and actually helping. That is the only way that our community is going to be safer. You know, the reality is that a majority of the people that go into prison, eventually they are going to be coming right back out into our community. And if we haven't done anything to address the problems that got them in there to start with, then we're just going back to square one. And that only makes our community, you know, unsafe. It doesn't help us. So I think that by putting more emphasis in looking at alternatives to incarceration, that can help our community in the long run.
Thank you for elaborating on those specific areas of focus. We'd now also like to learn a little bit more about your campaigning experience. So throughout this whole process, what has been the most difficult part?
Well, this is the first time that I have run for office, and it's been quite eye-opening. The most difficult part, I would say, is asking people for money. Having to call people and saying, hey, can you, give me X amount of money so that we can move forward with our campaign. I'm very proud that my campaign is very grassroots oriented, meaning that we did not come with, tons of money. We're relying on community people, community organizers to help us in moving forward with our campaign. But the fact is that you need money to run a campaign. We need to pay for signs. We need to pay for digital media. We need to pay for staff, that keeps the campaign together. So that's been the most difficult part, as far as I'm concerned.
What is one lesson you'd like to share with us that you've learned from your campaigning experience?
Don't take anything for granted. And I think that applies to life in general. Don't assume that things are, that something is going to happen or that something is going to work the way that you expected. Anything that's important, I think it takes a lot of work. You really have to put the time into it. And sometimes even if you do that, you might not get the results that you want. So the main thing, is just be open to what can happen. And just don't take anything for granted. Go out there and give it all you got. And that's what I've been doing for the last year, well, almost 2 years now. So just a lot of hard work.
All right. Before we conclude our interview, is there anything else you'd like to share with the Westlake student body?
If you are old enough, if you're 18, make sure that you are registered to vote. The voter registration deadline is October the 5th. So we still have, a little over a week or close to 2 weeks. So make sure that you are registered and get out there and vote, get educated, be informed, get involved in your community, get involved, in what is going to be built in your future.